Oh, you are at my border. Oh, come on in. What's one more? That's the attitude. Politicians are in it for the votes. Bureaucrats are saying, oh, let's keep the train running. This is how we keep our jobs. Bureaucrats have this mentality, let's not make any decision. We won't have a job. What are you doing? Consultants are there to stir up the pot. Opposition parties, they are pathetic. Let's make noise. I mean, I've seen Olivia Chow. I felt sorry for her. I said, woman, you know nothing about nothing. What are you talking about? When was the last time you read a book on history of immigration? I want to know that. See, here we have a problem. Then we have people who come, they can't find jobs, they are poor. Then we say, oh, poverty amongst immigrants. Well, of course, poverty amongst immigrants. They don't have any skill, they don't speak the language. Some of them have no motivation to work.
Well, the language point is very important.
And the language point, again,
yes,
is extremely important.
I would agree that the language point is very important because all the studies have shown that lack of appropriate language skills, be it English or French, depending where you live, is the biggest barrier to integration in the labor market.
There's English as a second language. I want you to think of this for a moment because I'm going to be asking you, but I want to get to the phone lines first. But this is the question I'm going to be posing to you. There are programs widespread offering English as a second language. In a recent report that I saw, that was a concern in Canada, that there are many groups coming here. They're living in their own little enclaves. Many of them don't even care about learning the language of the country.
Why bother?
And, well, as you said, why bother? So my concern is, how are we really dealing with immigrants coming to this country? Because on one hand, we're wasting a lot of talent. But on the other hand, we're allowing people to come here that really are offering nothing to the country.
And not only that, may I please add some? We are wasting a lot of resources.
Good point. So I'm going to ask you to hold that thought for a moment. Teresa on line 5. Hi, Teresa. You're on the line.
Hi. I don't agree with the lawyer, and I don't agree with the lady. They are skilled people here in Canada. Canada cannot accommodate their own people. There's so much here that we have, but the people are not getting it. It's too much of politics. And this is why it's all politics. The foreign people are no better than the Canadian people. They are just as intelligent as those people.
Do you want to give a feedback here on this?
Well, I think that perhaps our comments were misunderstood because there is no denying that there are a lot of skilled people. My comment before was that despite the fact that we are in an economic downturn, unfortunately, Canada does not produce skills in selected areas. There are selected occupations. For example, and I'll give you an example, concrete examples. We have shortages of plumbers, of electricians. Why? Because all the kids who go to school, be it foreign-born or Canadian-born, are being steered towards the university program, the more theoretical courses. Or, when was the last time you met a child who says, when I grow up, I would like to be a plumber or an electrician? And at the same time, we have a large number of skilled trades that are reaching the age of retirement. The people who in the old days came from Italy, from Portugal,
that's
from Greece,
another major area that we're
so
going to be dealing with.
Them.
Exactly. Alexandra, can you say what you're going to say now, quick, before we go for the break?
No, I'm just saying on this question of language, that's a very, very contentious issue because it also proves very expensive. And I have said this before, and I think your switchboard is going to light up like a Christmas tree, and I'll be called racist in the next 5 minutes. At certain age, certain skills are hard to learn. And so to bring in someone at 55 or 50 and say, oh, you should become reasonably fluent in English so that you can have a job, it's a bit of a pie in the sky. It's not going to happen because there are certain skills you cannot learn because your brain works differently. So why are we even trying that? We know it doesn't work.
There's another issue, Alexandra, and we're going to have to be packing a lot into this hour because the immigration issue is very complex, and as far as I'm concerned, it is our future here. Our birth rate is low, and we've got to be really... But we also have a group of people that are coming, that are leaving the country to work elsewhere, and I don't know what their reasons are. Sometimes they genuinely couldn't find a job in this country. So they bring their services overseas, and when they get to pension age, they come back to Canada and they draw resources. Can we continue to sustain this? Don't go away. We're going to get straight back to the phone lines after this, so be patient. Stay tuned. Hello again. Welcome back to our conversation. We're talking about immigration in Canada today. Let's go now to Shirley on line 4, calling from Calgary. Hi, Shirley. Nobody there now. Oh. Ava on line 3. Hi, Ava. You're on the line.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead, Ava.
Hi. I have comments and questions. My first comment is about education, which Sergio addressed. I love Canada very much. I think it's one of the best countries in the world, but why does our government, I find that our government does not educate its people enough. I find that the resources for education are too weak, and that this is a huge missing link in Canadian society. I find when you look at, I live in Calgary, and I know a lot of Russian immigrants that are very well educated, and they come from a communist system which provides education for people, for most of their population, I would say, and they come here and they have very good positions. Now, why can't the Canadian government, and I know this is a political statement, but why can't the Canadian government provide education for its citizens so that every citizen in Canada has an ability to be educated instead of an elitist system?
Now, Ava, I'm going to hand this over to Alexandra. Alexandra, you've worked for the United Nations, many countries. You're also a professor at Brock University. Can you address this?
Actually, our education system is quite good. It's not a bad system. It's just that we need to streamline it more. Mm-hmm. You see, with most immigrant families, going to university becomes a status symbol. Mm-hmm. So yes, nobody looks at the technical colleges and the skills trainings which are available. Now, if you graduate from a university with a BA, with a grade point average of 65, it's not going to do much for you. Mm-hmm. You can't go to graduate. It's an expensive joke to get yourself into. 4 years of BA, 2 years of master's degree, and then going into PhD. That's not everybody's cup of tea.
But there are a lot of courses, too. What could you do with them? They're only a beginning.
Or they are support courses, or they are interest courses. Mm-hmm. And I think what we need to do is that in high schools, they should introduce more discipline.
Yes.
These kids should learn some learning. The kids should be taught how to learn. You must learn how to learn.
No, but we're all about coddling the kids.
We are coddling. There should be some kind of a discipline in a good sense, not beating and hitting, but sense of responsibility, commitment, motivation, some goal setting. And if somebody is little bit facing retributive consequences of his or her behavior, it should not be always interpreted as racism. Yes. This is nonsense. We are lollycoddling them. You see, universities cannot do very much by the time we get them.